How long did it take you to get comfortable on the radio? Because you were very good about describing the transition to becoming a crew chief, because being a race car driver is all you wanted to do. Then when that wasn't an option, it was like, holy crap, what am I going to do next, right? That scary transition. So when you become a crew chief, now you have to be the guy on the radio. You mentioned in the book you were nervous at first to push that button.
Literally, my finger would shake right on the button and my voice would crack, because you're thinking, I don't know what you're going to say. You're going to say something stupid? What do I do now? Like, oh, yeah. Like, what do you do? And then, everyone's going to be in it. So it took a while, but listening to a lot of the other crew chiefs helped me. And I thought Jeff Hammond was always great on the radio specifically. And, there were certain guys, Buddy Parrott, they were good team leaders, on the radio. And then the more I did it, the more comfortable. But it was well into 94 before I got comfortable. Like 93 all through, I was like, probably not that good.
Yeah.
Where probably a few times Jeff would be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what? But into 94 started to get more comfortable because I was comfortable in knowing more. Again, when you're pushing the radio button and you're the guy in charge and you're thinking, I have no clue what I'm doing, it makes you pretty nervous.
Something that you said that caught my attention is, obviously we know everyone today can listen to everyone, right? Crew chiefs can know what other people are doing. Drivers can go back and listen. And that was something that was also happening during the time you were on the box. But you mentioned also you would get transcripts of those radio communications. And I was really interested in that. Is that still happening today? Or is it more, you think, Ray, of today, it's just, okay, I can go back and review the tape later. But the idea of printed transcripts kind of blew me
they're
away.
still printed.
Yeah?
I mean, it's all digital now, right?
Right.
Everybody's got digital and they're using their different intercom systems, so you can't get as much in practice and whatnot. But yeah, I used to get a printed transcript of the whole race, what I said, what certain other people said, and I would study that. And that's something that again, we just started developing because of our own radio conversations, but I really wanted to know, even though I could hear it during the race, I wanted to go back and read it, and I kept that as part of my notes as we were preparing for upcoming races. And that not only helped me prepare for the races from our side, but it helps you strategize, because when you're racing, right, your car's out there racing, and your driver's racing other drivers, but you are racing other crew chiefs. No different than baseball or football, or with auto racing, it's like a multi-level chess game, because you've got, at that time, there were 6-8 crew chiefs you were racing weekly for the wins, right? And that, back then there was 10, 12 different cars winning, maybe 6-8 crew chiefs you were racing pretty steady. So learning how they thought and what they meant when they said something, or how they were going to call their race based on what you would do. And I think I learned at times how to manipulate some of the things that I wanted to get because I knew how they were going to think or how they were going to respond, or I would know how their driver was going to respond. Some guys would, like Earnhardt, you could have told Earnhardt, hey, the back of the car's on fire, and he'd have said, all right, I'll be in a minute. You know what I mean? And you'd have said to somebody else, the back of the car's on fire, they'd be like, ah! You know what I mean? So learning how those crew chiefs and those drivers responded helped me actually manipulate some of the races to go in a direction that we wanted.
Do you think readers will be surprised to learn that? Because I think some, like myself, when they look back specifically at the 24 days, people look back with the sense of, well, they're just so much better than everybody else, which you were. You guys did a hell of a job of building your team, and you had fast race cars. But do you think it will surprise people to read in the book that you were also studying the competition, as you said, to see how to pull one over on you?
Well, I hope so. Because I want them to understand the depth that we had with that team. Obviously we had Jeff Gordon's talent and Rick Hendrick's equipment, but our guys were sharp. We acted, I think, like truly a professional sports team, and we might have been one of the first teams to really execute that way, because people talk about the pit crew all the time, and they were fantastic, and that was the way that we went. But we also did that mechanically. We did it calling our race. We did it the way we did our tire. Everything that we did based on a lot of data and research and spreadsheets, and try that whole predictive analytics of cautions, and we had that years ago. It was all hand done, but we did it. The same, like predicting tire pressures and, what to do with two tires and all of those things. It wasn't by accident. We took an engineering and data-based approach for a lot of that stuff.